Ripple has been granted permission by the Securities and Exchange Commission to respond. Since 2023, the SEC has been stepping up its legal efforts against Ripple following a string of mostly failed attempts. According to Ripple, the SEC has been gathering pointless financial data. In response to yet another argument, the corporation has already begun the process of getting ready for a second trial, which is scheduled for April 23, 2020. Following a prolonged period of silence from the company, the regulatory body requested an order compelling the company to turn over its financial reports for 2022 and 2023, as well as its post-complaint XRP sales contracts. Ripple and the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission have been involved in a legal battle since the previous month. They've all taken part in it in one way or another. The company requested a longer compliance deadline, stating that the records it was asking for were neither timely nor relevant to the investigation. The Secretary of State has received this corporation's request. This decision forced the watchdog to resubmit the request, citing the records as proof of Ripple's possibly serious violations of securities laws. The documents also included crucial information about the company's long-term financial viability. Given this, the attorneys for the corporation filed a lawsuit in an attempt to correct the substantially misleading representation made by the securities business. According to a different Riverside defense team member, the sure reply letter will help the court by giving it a reliable record to go by and by summarizing the crucial information. James Flynn, a former federal prosecutor and United States attorney, asserts that the magistrates have given the corporation permission to carry out its operations as the dates approach. The trial has been scheduled for April 23, 2024. After the Elisa judge prevailed in 3 partial court battles in July, Ripple now seems to be in charge. Given that their most recent dispute from 2023 was resolved in less than 3 months, Ripple seems to be in control at this point. This type of verdict initially came to the conclusion that the company's automation of sales to secondary trading platforms did not meet the requirements for proposals for investment contracts. This is how Tor came to the conclusion. See more information in the video that follows. As a result of the magistrates rejecting the Secretary of State's attempt to appeal the decision, CEO Brad Garlinghouse and Executive Chairman Chris Larson were found guilty on every claim raised by Watchdog. The parties must now each fulfill the requirements on their own in order to meet in court in 2024. The due dates for the remedial brief that the SEC submitted and the counterposition that Ripple submitted are March 13 and April 12, respectively. These dates line up with attempts to settle the dispute between Ripple and the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission on the damages that the blockchain startup has to pay for institutional sales of XRP. New issues surfaced during that year, and in the end, the judge's decision turned out to be the decisive element. The SEC ordered the cryptocurrency startup Ripple to produce financial accounts for the years 2022 and 2023 and to file a complaint over institutional sales contracts on January 11 in response to the SEC's answer and request for a server reply. Based on the latest information available, Judge Sarah Byrne has approved Ripple's most recent petition. Former federal prosecutor James K. Fillon is now a defense lawyer. On January 26, he published this information on his blog. According to the report, there was an unexpected request for the topic or conversation. The regulator dismisses Ripple's claim that the SEC's compel request was untimely and unnecessary. This is because, according to a Bitcoin legal expert, the SEC is supposedly deceiving the court. We're discussing the highest price that XRP could achieve if it followed the most recent trends in the cryptocurrency market. An authority on cryptocurrencies believes that centralized garbage would drive down the price of XRP. Predictions state that on January 24, 2024, the value of cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, which is today worth pennies, will increase to $1. The expert witness for the motion, lawyer Morgan, stated in his testimony that the government was purposefully deceiving the court. This becomes much clearer since it occurs way too often. Ripple's legal team had previously argued that it was not essential to publish contracts made in response to a complaint because Ripple has never disclosed such before, as Ripple underlined in its swift response. Nevertheless, they thought there was no justification for the contracts to be made public. In the class action lawsuit brought by Zach Nav, the Securities and Exchange Commission for instance, contended that Binance ought to be held accountable due to Ripple. XRP was up 0.42 a day at the time. This post was published to $5,514. The digital asset is attempting to make up for losses of 5.86 from the previous week and 17.7 million per month on the monthly chart, based on the most recent currency rate. A legal expert has accused the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission of giving fraudulent testimony to the court in the ongoing Ripple Labs v. SEC lawsuit, which was made public on January 26. Ripple is required by the Securities and Exchange Commission to furnish financial rights and sales agreement. Even though Ripple's legal team insists this is a factual error, they are vehemently contesting it and casting doubt on the accuracy and transparency of the information provided by the relevant authorities. Many were dubious of Ripple's guarantees when the sector asked the Securities and Exchange Commission to provide financial data. Reacting to the assertions, some have pointed to South Carolina's history of fact-checking reports by the Securities and Exchange Commission, citing what they consider to be an error in fact. Bill Morgan, an attorney, is closely monitoring the complex circumstances surrounding Ripple because of his dissatisfaction with the organization's management style. He has accused the Securities and Exchange Commission of disseminating misleading information. The legal team at Ripple has sent a formal letter. This lawsuit aims to guarantee that the facts are presented impartially and honestly, in addition to drawing the court's attention to the alleged error. The defense in this ongoing legal battle is arguing that contracts negotiated after the complaint must include presence issues per SEC regulations. Citations to previous rulings, such as Xena versus Ripple Network, bolster their claim. Even nevertheless, despite occasional daily losses, the price of XRP, the native token of the Ripple network, has crossed the 0.5 threshold. The sentiment of the XRP market may be affected by decisions made by the SEC in the Ripple case. The past week and month have been extremely challenging for the Bitcoin market. One argument against Optimus is that it intentionally misled the court about its position by asserting that it was the first company to publish the item with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. 6 transactions totaling more than 200 million XRP and 2 transactions valued more than 10,020 million XRP were concurrently found by Whale Alert using the previously mentioned and observed on-chain data source wallets. 3 of the 6 withdrawal-related transactions included the well-known European cryptocurrency exchange Bitvavo, which is based in the Netherlands. The strange thing about these 3 transactions is that they all ended up at different wallet addresses. This could mean that 3 new cryptocurrency whales are emerging, each of them buying hundreds of millions of XRP. Both transactions were made using the same wallet address associated with the Ripple Labs blockchain decacorn, based on information provided by the Explorer Bytum, which is XRP-focused, although 2 well-known cryptocurrency exchanges, Bitstamp and Bitso, received sizable payments in XRP in lieu of withdrawals. 2 of the 6 transfers that were previously highlighted had nothing to do with them. Surprisingly, Bitstamp and Bitso collaborate with this massive worldwide banking company to offer Ripple's international payment service.